All right, y'all, welcome back for another episode of 3-Star My Bag. This episode is going to be featuring the bag of DGV player Papaz. I'm assuming it's Papaz, not Papa Z. I did ask him about his name, and he said that's what his grandkids call him, so I thought that was a pretty cool DGV name. So he decided another Enso. I know that's one of the toughest courses to get the 3-star, so definitely understandable why it would be one of the most frequently requested courses. As you can see there, 22 or better is going to get you the 3-star, which is 14 under. So basically you got to get at least 5 eagles and 4 birdies, kind of average out to get you that 22. So without further ado, let's take a look at his bag. I'll give you kind of my 2 cents on what I think, some recommended changes or improvements that I feel like he can make with his bag, and then we'll get into the round. Alright, so here we go with his bag and my copy of his bag. I think the only disc that I didn't have an exact replica of as far as attributes was the Felon. I didn't have an accurate fade Felon, so I put a fade windbreak. I figure that's the closest to that one that I have. But we'll start off with that disc anyway. I think that the Felon has so much natural fade to it in general. I don't think you need, if you're going to bag the Felon, I think an accurate glide is probably a better choice. Get a lot more use out of, and then you get a little more distance out of as well with the glide versus the fade feature. But with this putter pouch, he's got the accurate sticky Hope and then the accurate sticky Agent. I do like that combination. Agent is very overstable, similar to the Harp. I don't think it's quite as long as the Harp, but definitely a good option there. Good combination of putters. If he uses, which I think he does, the Hope as one of his primary throw-ins, I just like the glide better, but the sticky can prevent some spit outs and whatnot. I just think you get a little more distance, but again, if he uses the Claymore, then that sticky might be a good option as well. But that would be my only minor recommendation, is maybe consider a glide Hope if you are using it for throw-ins, just because you can cover a little more distance. But definitely not a huge deal there if he sticks with the sticky. Mid-range, the Claymore and Trust, very similar to the Warships. I really like that disc a lot. Claymore, accurate glide, similar to the Fuse. I think I haven't thrown the Claymore a ton. I feel like if you're going to use it for throw-ins, the windbreak is a little more popular, and you might be able to make a little more shots using the windbreak, but nothing wrong with that accurate glide as well. We already talked about the Felon. You guys know how I feel about that PD. That accurate roll PD is a great throw-in disc, so nothing to say bad about that. The other mid-range, he's got the accurate skip flow. I didn't have the accurate skip flow for some reason, but I threw the glide skip flow. I'm not sure if I'll be able to use that in Enso, but we'll see what I find out as I'm playing the round. Right off the bat, I think if you were to swap maybe like an accurate glide flow and then an accurate skip grace, I think you can get a little more utility out of that. The skip grace is a great skip fairway. The flow just can't quite cover some of the holes that the grace or the sample or the sapphire can get to. But that's my opinion on his fairways. As far as distance drivers, the first thing that kind of sticks out is all the big skips that he has. I kind of get the idea behind it. He's got the Captain, which is understable. He's got the Rye, which is a little more neutral but definitely overstable, and then the Rask, which is definitely overstable. So kind of different flights, but he's got the big skip on all three. I just think it's a little overkill with the big skips. I would love to have that Rask in the bag. I think it's going to be fun to possibly throw it on a couple of these Enso holes, so we'll see how we do with it. Nothing bad to say on that Water Skip Gold. I think that's one of the best in the game. Definitely the longest, I think. And then the DD3, that glide roll, I think that can be a very useful disc. But having that one and the glide roll rive might be a bit overkill. So between those two, all the skip drivers, I think you can clear up 1 or 2 more spots. Definitely recommend having a glide fairway, like a glide sapphire, but he does have the glide gray, so that covers that spot. But a glide sapphire and a light glide distance driver would be the main 2 that I'd recommend adding to that bag. So here we go. Let's get into Enso. Again, that glide roll ride that you get doing 3 stars, that's one of the best rewards in the game as far as Challenge of Valley, but it's also one of the most challenging. But I think with this bag, we should be able to get this done. Three-starring Enso, I would say you probably want to get eagle on the first 3 holes, but at least get 2 out of the first 3. This first hole, I think the glide skip captain's a perfect disc. I don't love the captain, but it does have some great utility. This is one of the holes. You can see I used my same aim point that I used my turn glide rive and just put a little turn on that because of the left to right wind, and this is going to be right next to the basket. So that's a great option there. The captain just isn't as predictable as I like, and it tends to do some funky things that I don't expect sometimes. This one, I'm kind of excited to throw the Rask here with my same line that I throw my glide skip rive, slide to the left, aim way over here. Then I think that added stability is going to be awesome. Oh, and this works out perfect. I've been having trouble just turning this a little too much with my rive. But that Rask with that overstability, that's like a perfect disc for that hole. As you can see, 49 feet. So that's a great option there as long as he has that in the bag. This is one of the holes where I think you can get some good use out of it. Put a big flex on it, but not have to worry about overturning it. This one, let's see. Oh man, that wind. It's going to be hard to resist not going for it again. I think if you can get the first 3 holes on Enso, then you got a great shot at 3 stars. So we're going to go for this. You don't necessarily need to go for the green here, but with this wind, it's too hard to resist. We're going to go with the water skip gold. Put a little bit of turn on and then let that tailwind stable it up. Looks like it's got a good chance. You never know what it's going to hit, so it's always very risky. Stop throwing this, but that worked out well, and we get an easy eagle. Usually I'm throwing forehand glide roll rive, or that roll DD3 would have been a great option here, but with that wind, I had to go for it. But if you can keep it on the lower level on your first shot, if you don't go for the green, then that's a good chance at eagle. This one, I think the captain would be great, but I'm going to go with my glide skip rive line that I've been having a lot of success with. Slide left, middle chevron kind of down on the corner of that bridge, and then we're going to try to just turn it over and skip it right before this rock. This looks perfect. I've been having a lot of success with that backhand flex shot, so that's why I decided to go with that glide skip line. Glide skip rive line. We're going to go with the hope here. I'm just a little better at throw-ins with the hope versus his claymore, so I'm probably going to be falling back on that a little bit, whereas he might get in. Oh, we snuck it in the left side. Hope is a much straighter disc than the pure, so I got to just remember that and not put as much, not aim as far right as I normally would with the pure, but it's a great throw-in disc. Sometimes I kind of wish I would have learned with the hope versus the pure. So we're going to go for the green here. Basically, the idea is to kind of just throw it right at the pin and throw the water skip. And sometimes you get lucky, skip it in. Other times there's just enough back here to hit and run into. Oh, and then you get unlucky like that and go right through. But worst case scenario in a shot like that, as long as you hit the line, you get an easy birdie. Not the smartest thing if you really need an eagle at this point, but it's kind of a fun line to run, and I didn't feel like I needed the eagle there, so I just got the easy birdie. This one, let's see, I'm considering the Fallon. I just don't know if it has enough, and I don't want to ruin a good round here. So I'm going to go with the roll PD. I'm going to slide left, top chevron on that bush, and then we're going to put some anhyzer on this compared to the Sapphire. The PD is a little more stable, so I'm going to put more anhyzer on the PD. This looks perfect. You just want to run it right into this wall. And doesn't get any better than that. 58 feet. Should be able to knock this one in and get another eagle, which is going to be our 5th. So we're already on track. We could just birdie out and get the 3-star, but hopefully we can do a little better than that. This one, love this line since I found it. I used to hate this hole, but once we figured this line out, backhand flex shot with the glide skip rive. And is it gonna, oh, that was kind of in between. You either want to skip off the grass there before that rock or carry over it, and I kind of did the in between, but looks like we're still gonna have a look here. 85 feet left with the hope. Should be able to make this uphill, a little bit of right to left headwind. Oh, I put too much on it. The hope does have a little more lift than the pure, and it kind of came back to bite me there. Darn it. So we take a birdie. That should have been an eagle. It's hoping for a really solid round, but let's see if we can get these last 2. So I'm going to try the captain again. I'm not great with it, but this is a perfect chance just slide left, aim right at this tree, and then let the natural turn of the captain kind of just turn around this tree here. Oh my gosh, see, this is a perfect example of why I'm not in love with the captain. Sometimes it just feels like it turns way more than it should. And maybe I should have put some more hyzer on that, but I thought I pulled it down where I needed to, and it still just kind of took off to the right on me. So I just think the Paradigm, the Enigma, the turn skip rive, all of them are just a little more predictable and easier to control than the captain is, at least for me. Great disc, but I'm just not very good with it. All right, last hole. This is another hole I'm excited about possibly trying that Rask. And rather than having to do a big hyzer shot, I'm going to just try more of a straight pull down. So let's try this out. We got a nice left to right tailwind. I'm going to kind of slide left, just aim right in the middle here. And let's just count on the stability of this Rask. Oh, this looks pretty good. Hopefully it doesn't go long with this wind. Oh, that's perfect. So a great disc for those couple of holes I showed you. So I definitely understand why people would want this disc in the bag. I just don't have space for it. Get in there. Nice. We finish off with an eagle. So great Enso round there. 15 under, 21. So we did one stroke better than we needed to get that 3-star. So hopefully this helps you out, Papaz. Get that 3-star round, get you that glide roll rive. And if you already have it, at least this will help you do a little better in multiplayer on Enso. Give you some lines that you might need, and then some. Hopefully that feedback on your bag helped. Again, all my feedback, definitely understand if people don't want to consider my changes. It's just what I think. You got to stick with what works for you, because one bag may not work for another player. So, but let me know if you guys want me to 3-star your bag. Still got several people in line. I try to keep track. I try to go in order of who's asked me first. But let me know if you're interested, and hopefully you guys are enjoying this series. I know they're fun to put together. And as always, thanks for watching me play some DGV.